Alright guys, it's Varison here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be looking at mixing, how to mix Afrobeats the right way. We'll be looking at some key elements. The first of them happens to be panning. So panning means moving things either to the left or to the right. And the reason why we pan is to create space for the vocals. So we want to make a space for the vocals to sit. So most instruments will be either pan to the left or to the right, depending on your taste, whatever you want. So to do that, you have to head to the mixer track and then hold down the left click button on the mouse and then scroll either up or down. When you scroll down, it goes to the left, and then when you scroll up, it goes to the right. Ensure that you are holding down the right click button. So that's that for that. If you notice this particular song, you will see that I've panned some things to, you can see what you are doing over at this section. I've panned the jazz guitar 25% to the left, then the marimba is 23% to the right. Do whatever works for you. The overall idea is that if you have so many instruments, don't pan so much. Okay, so if you have very few instruments, don't pan so much. But if the instruments are much, you want to pan more to the right or to the left so that you can create a lot of space. I don't have so many instruments running in this particular Afrobeat, so I just left it at around 21, 22, 23. So this is an intense panning, but this is just a mild panning. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. So don't forget to pan your instruments to make space for the vocals. The instruments you want to pan are the high-end instruments such as the guitars, the keyboard, and so on and so forth. The only ones you want to leave in the center are the kick, the snare, the bass. Also, you can pan some vocals, especially the backup vocals. You can choose to pan them to the right or to the left. There are no rules to this things, just do whatever works for you. Next on our list is going to be stereo shaping. Okay. In most cases, you find out that your instruments are so much at the center. You want to use this knob. So this is the knob for that stereo separation. You can see it written there, stereo separation. So when you just same way we did the panning, hold down the left click button and then move down to make it wide. Then if you move it upwards, that is, you scroll upwards, you are going to merge it, so it's going to be more centralized. We use this particular trick for the kick majorly. This is the kick now, so I want to make sure that it's merged. I want to keep it at the center. But for other instruments, you want to ensure that you separate them properly. Like this particular one I have here, the alto sax, you can see that the stereo separation, I've used it a lot. Okay, I separated it down up to 60-70%. So the next we're going to look at is automation. What most producers do not actually know is that you can automate almost everything, like the volume, even the panning, even the stereo separation. All of these functions can be automated. What do I mean? If this is the volume knob, all I have to do is right click and then I'll come over to create automation. When I do that, if I come to this section, you will see, let me expand it so that you see properly. Okay, so you can see it now, the jazz guitar, this is the volume. What this does is that it gives me an extra control over, because let's say for instance, you don't want the jazz guitar playing at a specific volume all through the song. So if I need it probably silent at the beginning of this song like we have here, all I need to do is right click and then it creates another a point for me. Then I can drop this point downwards and then drop this point. So what happens is that when the track is playing along this region, you're not going to hear the jazz guitar. Then when it peaks, you are going to hear it. So you can do any shape you want. You see, I can make it sharper. I can even increase it so that the jazz guitar will fade in slowly till it gets to this point. Then the volume becomes fixed. So I can come over here, create another point, create another one. Let's say I don't want it here, I drag it down. So that's one of the ways to use an automation clip. And it's you don't need to take it all the way down. You might decide to leave it here. So it just give you a special control over every instrument, every vocal on your playlist, because this is a playlist interface. Okay, so this is for the volume. Now the same jazz guitar, I can come over here and also right click. That is on the stereo separation. Now right click and then I'll say create automation clip. And then you can see that I have one automation for the volume. I have another one for the stereo separation. What it does is that if I reduce it at this position, once the jazz guitar plays up to this particular point, you're not going to experience any more stereo separation. And then it comes back up just like that. Also, you can also do it for any effect you add. Okay, just say create automation and then you have it there. So ensure that you use automation clips when you're working on your tracks. It makes a whole lot of difference and gives it that professional touch. Then the last thing we're going to talk about is creating a mix bus. Most people don't create a mix bus, but it's very important. If you notice now, all of these vocals have been routed to this particular vocal bus. So you see, if you notice, look at the arrow, it's routed to this one. This one also is routed to the vocal bus, and so on and so forth. What this does is that it gives me control. So instead of applying different effects for each of them, once I route them to this place, I can apply one effect that's going to affect all the elements that have been routed to this particular bus. So you can have a vocal bus, you can have an instrument bus, you can also choose to have a drum bus. Okay, so in this particular instance, this is a vocal bus, and the one way to do that is to hold control, then left click, and then slide across, and then you can highlight as many. Just slide across your mouse, and then you copy as many. Then once you've done that, come over to this section and say route to this track only. I've done that already. So once you do that, they will all be routed to only this track. So that when you play the track, you can hear it on this bus. Let me try to play it so that you hear exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the song. This is everything I've routed to that vocal bus. Now watch what happens. Yeah. Say only channel. So you notice that every signal coming from each of these individual mixers are being routed to this vocal bus. So if I apply an EQ here, it's going to affect everything here. And also for the pitcher, there's no need coming to pitch each of the vocals differently. Just route them to a particular bus and then pitch them. I've also you can choose to do that for the drums also, for the kick. It gives you a more professional approach. And then once you highlight, there's the option of coloring and renaming, whatever you want to do. Change color, you come over here. Makes your work more beautiful and presentable. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you've not done that already. It encourages me to make more interesting videos like this one. It's Varitunes here, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.